Hey everyone, welcome back to another video with me. If you're just joining me for the first time, welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki and I help you sew things for your friends and family. If you're returning, I'm glad you're back. We are ready for some new projects this year, okay? Today's project, we're out with Christmas, it's New Year, we're getting ready for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to help you. If you're not a big decorator, this is a great project for you, okay? Because it's something simple to do and you can do it in a good amount of time. Let's get started. So the first thing we are going to do, I already have my fabric already laid out. And what we are going to do is just prep them. Guys, we're working with rectangles, and if you want to, they can be semicircles. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. All right. So get your fabric. Let's get ready to adhere some interface. I already adhered one sheet of interface, but what I'm going to do, I just wanted to do it on video because in case I have any new beginners for sewing, okay? If anybody got, new machines for Christmas. So I wanted to be able to show what I'm doing. All right, so I'm just going to adhere this. I'm using Pellon 809, and I'm going to adhere it onto the fabric. What I did, I purposely cut the interface about 1/4 of an inch shorter on both sides. Okay, if you would like to, you can do it on the longer portions as well. Okay, the reason I did that is because I want to reduce some bulk when I flip it. Okay, so all we're going to do, make sure that glue side of the interface, for those of you who have been with me before, you know what to do. If you're brand new to sewing, make sure that that glue side, the shiny side, is sticking faced up, and put your wrong side of the fabric to that shiny side. So this is a really good, easy project, and I am not really big on Valentine decorations. I am huge into, I'm talking, I go crazy at Christmas, but this right here, it's just a way that you can, acknowledge the holiday, but not have too much around the house. Okay, simple. All right, they have Valentine's Day fabric that's black and red. You can find some red and pink, so there's a few different Valentine's Day colors. You don't have to just use pink. All right, so I'm almost done right here adhering the glue. Okay. Now, there's a difference in the Pellon 809, or if you want to use some other type of fabric to make them softer. I want to make this so that it's actually like flat. Okay, so that's why I'm not using anything like batting. I don't want them to be soft and like fabric. I actually want them to be flat. But putting two pieces on, what it does is it makes it thicker. All right, so I'm going to place those fabrics right sides together. Okay, my right side and right side. You can either pin or use some clips, depending on whatever you would like to use. I'm just going to use some clips here, place them around strategically around this fabric. Okay, so now here's where I tell you that if you don't want rectangular placemats, okay, you can alter that right now before you actually start sewing. You can do this in a number of ways. This is going to be for our next project, but I just want to show you something. So you could take anything round that you have, okay? You could use a cup, anything round, a small ball, and use it to place in the corner, okay? If you want rounded edges, okay? Put it into the corner, trace the circle, trace the edge of the circle, okay? So that you get the size that you would like. This is actually a wider circle. Okay, so you can make it, you know, just put it right on the edge of whatever it is that you are trying, you know, whatever you're trying to curve. All right, and that's how you get the rounded corners. All right, otherwise you can leave them just like a rectangle, which is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna leave mine like a rectangle and begin to sew. So we want to sew all around 4 sides, but we're going to leave a portion of it open. I'm going to leave that side open just because I put less clips over there. I'm going to leave 4 fingers open so that I can flip this right side out. Okay, sew all the way around. Okay. All right. This is definitely the best way for me to decorate for Valentine's Day, because like I said, I don't go crazy with decorations for Valentine's Day. Right side out. Before we flip it, go ahead and cut those ends. Sometimes, you know, you go to the store, placemats are, you know, sometimes they're expensive if you don't get them off season, and the cheap ones are just that, they're cheap. But at least, you know, for Valentine's Day or some of the other smaller holidays that come and go real quickly, you'll have a way of decorating where you don't have to spend a lot of money to decorate. So we clipped off those corners so that we reduce the bulk, and now we're just going to put this right side out. This is a very good, easy beginner project. Now, I chose to use 2 different fabrics, a patterned one, obviously, on one side and a solid on the other, just because it will enable me to flip it if I wanted to and, you know, use the other side. But I have done them where I have both design patterns on both sides. So you just decide what you want to do. Okay, I forgot to mention it. I'm using the chopstick, poking out the corners. Love chopsticks. And you know, if you've been with my other videos, you know I'm a chopstick user. All right, poking those corners out really well. Okay, we want to get ready to hit this with the iron before we top stitch. Okay. Okay, you know what? Let me backtrack for a second. I should have said something to you. I wasn't thinking about it, but I'm thinking about it now. Okay, before you attach your outer to, before you put your 2 fabrics together, if you would like, okay, we're going to work on another project that goes along with this. But if you would like to, what you can do is add a pocket onto the actual placemat, you know, for you. And then if you add the pocket on, you'll be able to put in your forks, your fork, knife, and spoon right onto the placemat. I'm going for a different look, which is what I'm going to show you in this video. But if you just want to put a pocket on yourself, use a contrasting fabric and do it before you sew the two together. Okay? All right, so let's get the iron, flatten this out. Okay. Flatten it out. Valentine's Day is every day in my house. My honey comes home with chocolates and stuff that I don't need all the time. So, I mean, yeah, it's a lovely, loving holiday, but I don't go crazy decorating for it. So here's what I'm doing. I am going to roll this because I can feel that, you see how the fabric is inside there? So I'm just going to roll this just to bring the seam out a little bit. Let me get my chopstick. Just to make sure that it's sitting out. There we go. So you see that? Look at the difference there. Okay, you can see where I started ironing, but I'm using a chopstick to force that seam out. Okay. And now I'm going to do it so that we don't have bulk. Okay, and we're going to tuck this under right here. Some people probably don't even think about making placemats. You just probably don't think that you can because we're so busy making big projects, you know, like bags and wallets and things like that. But this is one of the easiest things you could do yourself. So I just flipped it because I wanted to just make sure that my fabric lined up, and it looks beautiful. Looks great. And now we're going to top stitch around because it'll give it a decorative look, and that's what we want. So let's go ahead and we're going to top stitch. By top stitching, we're going to close up this bottom. Okay, but it's going to give it that decorative look as well for a nice finishing touch. Okay. Put my mat away. All right, and I'm going to start off in the corner. So right here at the bottom so that I finish in the corner as well. And all I'm doing is I'm going 1/8 of an inch. Oh, because I want to see a little bit of the separation of stitches, I've bumped up my distance to 0.5. Just keep in mind, whatever is in your bobbin, that's coming on your bottom of your project. So if you want a different color on your bottom, just change your bobbin thread. All right, and guess what? That's seriously it. That's all there is to it. This is where I was talking about, if you wanted to, that you could actually go ahead and put a pocket on the outside, so that you already have your spot ready. Okay, so your spot for your fork, knife, and spoon. All right, let's put this to the side. I'm going to bring out the other material that we're going to work with today. And this is what we're going to create for the cutlery piece, for the fork, knife, and spoon. Now, I chose a different material to use because, remember I was saying that I'm not big on decorating for Valentine's Day. This I can have for Valentine's Day and like, oh, okay, great. It looks cute. We know it's some sort of decoration. I chose this fabric for me because I want to be able to use it not just Valentine's Day, but all year round. Okay, and red is one of my favorite colors. Okay, and yeah, so, and it matches with my house decor. I was looking to see which was the right and which was the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, now, for this particular piece that we're doing here, I'm using the Sew-In interface. I did not want to use the Pellon 809 because this is a little thicker, which is the way I wanted it. With 2 pieces of interface, you want it to be sturdy. I didn't want this one as thick. So all I'm going to do for this one here is I'm going to layer my lining interface, layer the lining on top of the interface. Okay, 1 piece of lining there. I'm going to take the outer fabric and I'm just going to put it right on top so that my pretty sides are facing. And I have the other piece of interface right there. But for this particular project, I'm going to actually pin this instead of using the clips so that it doesn't shift on me. Okay. So I'm going to pin this. You can use Pellon 809 if you would like to. I'm just choosing for this particular project not to. And I forgot that I wasn't going to use Pellon 809, so I got my mat out to iron. And then I remembered looking at it like, oh, okay. But yeah, it doesn't matter which one you use. Whereas you can use batting, like cotton batting for the placemat, I would not use batting, cotton batting for this here. You want it to lay flat. All right, here we go. And same thing, you know what I'm going to do? We could start off, I'm deciding where I want to start. I'll start down here so we leave one side of the bottom open. Okay, here we go. I'm going all the way around. We're going to sew all the way around all 4 sides and leave a portion on the bottom open for you to flip. I came over too much, so I'm going to back up. Okay. Okay. And I just left a little space there. I'm going to push this all through. If you want to, you can leave it open on the long side. It really doesn't matter with this particular project. We want to clip out corners to help reduce the bulk. On all 4 sides. Okay, great. All right. So now go ahead and turn it right side out. Okay. I'm using my finger right here. What I'm doing is I have my finger inside and I'm just pushing it down, pushing the fabric down to turn it. But I'll show you, here's my chopstick, what you can do also. You can use the butt of your chopstick. I'll use the fat part, not the pointed part. And if you put your fabric right at the butt, put your chopstick down, you can do that as well. Okay, just like that. All right, pushing it out, I'm poking out those corners, but I want to get this part of my chopstick for the corners. Okay, all right, here we go. Poke out both sides, all four corners. Let's get this poked. Yeah, I like the solid with a pattern color. This way you don't have too much pattern going on. All right. And now all I'm doing again is I'm going to use my chopstick and I'm going to force those seams that are inside. I'm gonna force these seams out. Oh, look at that. Where did that come from? All right, we'll take care of that. Interesting. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing on this side because you see they want to curve in. Okay, but we want to push them out both sides before we iron them. So I'm forcing them by putting the chopstick inside. Okay, that's it. Okay, and now we're ready to iron. I'm going to turn this under so that we're ready to iron it. You want to close up that edge so that it looks nice and pretty. All right. Let's iron. Flatten down the corners. Okay. And so now what we want to do is we want to top stitch for two reasons. One, we want to close this up, but we want to put the final pieces onto the project. So we want to fold this up. Okay. Well, let's do the bottom. We're going to fold this up. Fold the portion that you did not leave open. That portion that you left open, leave that there for right now. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to fold this up about 5.5 inches. Okay. Let me just see real quick. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, about 5.5 inches. You know what? That's 6 actually. So that's 6 inches. It depends. Do you want your fork, do you want everything to be shown at the top? If you want to have a little bit of your fork, knife, and spoon, you know, showing at the top, then do 5.5. So anywhere between 5.5 and 6. Okay. And what we're going to do is pin this, pin it in 2 places here. Okay. All right. Do not pin at the very top. Okay, there we go. All right. So we're going to do 2 things right now. We're going to top stitch, but we're going to do this portion first. We're going to put 1 top stitch straight across as a finishing edge on that pretty completed side already. So go ahead and do that. Nice. Okay. And I'm going to cut my stragglies. And now what we want to do is we want to finish this up. Remember, we need to close that hole right there. So we are going to sew. You can pick any point to sew. I'll start right here. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to sew all the way. You know what? No, I'm going to start on the bottom. And I'll tell you the reason why I just changed my mind. Sometimes when we backstitch, depending on your machine, you might actually see your knot when you backstitch. And if you're using a pattern, at least in the bottom corner part, it's not as evident, it's not as noticeable as if you did it on the top here. So what we want to do is we want to start at the bottom corner. We want to come all the way down. When you get to this portion here, give it a back stitch and then continue sew it again, you know, for the pocket, sew again, and then continue all the way around. When you get to this portion here, give it a little extra love, back stitch, and then continue sewing, and then go all the way down to the bottom. It's your choice if you want to put one here across, okay? It's your choice. That's going to be the pocket portion, all right? I will put a stitching line across mine, okay? Just because we'll have the stitching line across 3. So I'm just gonna go for it. And you want to sew close to the edge. I'm doing 1/8 of an inch. That means I'm lining up my first line on my foot, on my presser foot. See, I'm going right now. I'm giving it a little extra love there. And now I'm pivoting. This is that portion we're going to close up. So I'm just going to just make sure that my outer fabric is staying intact there. Okay, so see, I did mine, I went across the bottom. Now this is the part where you can decide, I'm just cutting my stragglies. This is the part that you can decide if you would like to do something unique, something different with it. I'm not going to do this, but I just wanted to show you. We're not a bow person in our house, but this is what it looks like right now, okay? If you put in your fork, knife, and spoon, okay? And, you know, make it look all pretty, things like that. You can decide if you want to add a bow, okay? And if you want to add a bow, before we think about this here, before we think about how much you want to fold up, the 5.5 or the 6 inches, you could also think about, besides that bow going there, let me just grab this one as well. You could think of some other places for a bow. I whipped out some white as well, because I wanted you to see the difference so that, you know, when you are color coordinating. I'm not big on bows around here. That's totally uneven. Okay. But, okay. You guys, you get my point. Okay. Yeah. Can you tell I don't make reefs? Okay. So you see this with the contrasting color? You can put a cute little bow on it. Somewhere if you wanted to look cute up here, or raffia, I mean not raffia, rickrack around the edges, or stick one somewhere. But so that's another choice for you. Okay, and then your forks and spoon can go inside your knife, fork, and spoon. So it'll look like this on the opposite side. Okay, all right. For placement, I'm going to remove that bow right there. So remember what I was saying in the beginning, that you can put a pocket on if you wanted to. If you wanted to create the pocket, make your measurements smaller than what these measurements are. So I would say probably around ½ an inch smaller, or one, you know, maybe half an inch to 1 inch smaller. And then the pocket can actually sit right here on the corner of the placemat. That is your quick decorate for Valentine's Day. If you're not really big into decorating, you know, you can make, you know, some simple little placemats, and you know, that's called, once it goes out on the table, that's called 2-minute decorating. So all right, I will see you back here for the next video. Okay, if you have questions, go ahead and put them down below. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. You can also like this video. That would actually help as well. You know, but all right, that's all. So I'll see you guys back for, like, you know, another time. Bye.